So far, May 9th, this will take to effect. So remember this. May 9th, this literalist, uh, Cobalt, right? Lyricist, lyricalist, lyricalist Cobalt, Sparrow, or so this is gonna be new ban list until the 9th or until June. The Sparrow is to 2 copies. I don't play lyricists to even matter. I don't play lyricists at all, so I don't know the effects that this will have to the thing. All I know is that it's discard special summon. You can add one level 1 winged beast monster from your deck to your hand. So I guess in some implications, if this card is successfully special summoned, you can add a card. Let's see. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. So, and also if it's XYZ materials, it makes the card that is used, right? If it's material, it cannot be destroyed by card effect. They looks like they do have a lot of powerful one level ones, I guess. I don't know, cause I don't even think that's even relevant. I hardly see anybody on ladder play lyricists, and if I do, they're playing it with tri brigades, and their board is not meant to say I'm gonna play Cobalt Subaru and I'm gonna make sure it's XYZ material to make my card unaffected by card effects. I don't think that's the main point. I don't think that's the jarring effect of what they want to do with this deck in the first place. Because usually I played a lot against tri brigades and lyricist tri brigades, and their ultimate board, right, their end game is to put a Smorg and then lock you out for special summoning out anything besides a Wind Beast, a statue for that, the Smorg to negate everything you play, and a Thunderbird, and then possibly out a Omen for pinpoint, point and click, point and click banishment. So I don't know why this card was even hit, right? I probably think there's other cards in the Lyricist, which, other cards in Lyricist that they could probably look at besides this card, but I don't think this card should be hit. PKs, I don't even play this. I don't even play Phantom Knights. It's going down to 2 copies. Honestly, I think they should have took this down to 1. I see why people are kind of upset, because you can use this special summon itself in the graveyard. That's just free rank 3 materials right there. Easy game, clap clap. Roxy's to 2. I mean, if you're playing Prank Kids, I mean, it doesn't do anything for you or against a Prank Kids deck, right? It doesn't hurt them bad or hardly hurt them at all. It's just one less Prank Kids they can play, which means they can play one other card that they've been trying to struggle into a 40 card deck now. So again, like, this does nothing against Prank Kids. Like, if they chose, there's other good cards for Prank Kids to look at, like Meow Meow, like Meow 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 Moo, or even the Rocket, right? Rocket Ride. They can check Rocket Ride. They can check out Bow Wow Bark, right? They can check out the freaking they can check out Battle Butler, right? Or Pandemonium. Limit Pandemonium. Hurt the deck hurt it where it works, man. Like, doing Roxy's is not going to stop the deck from being prevalent. Prank Kids is strong, and this does not stop them. That honestly makes them a bit better. Anyway, next is Analyst. I think there's other good cards to target besides Analyst. Analyst is only special summon if your opponent controls monster, you can special summon it. So this is their Cyber Dragon. I wouldn't even target this card. A card I would target besides Analyst would probably be Researcher, because Researcher, if you control a rock, you can special summon itself, or get this right, or Seeker, or if they want to really tackle they want to really tackle and hunker down on Animancipators, Block Dragon. This card is so good in Animancipators. So freaking good. What you can do, and I'll tell you why, and it's easy. It's easy. It's easy to special summon because the rocks that you play in your deck are deadbeat rocks. You can just toss them. Literally toss rocks for Block Dragon. You can then exceed Block Dragon or link Block Dragon away for another card, and then trigger the second effect, which says here, If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, Link Summon, including Link Summon, right? You can add up to 3 rock monsters from your deck to your hand whose level equals 8. So that means, in retrospect, you can use this to get 2 level 4s. You can use this to get a level 3, a level 2, for 5, a 5, 6, 7, 2 level 2s and a level 3, or 2 level 3s and a level 2. There's a lot of combinations you can do with rocks and situations that you can get to your hand. You can get one that summons itself if you banish a rock monster. There's the Animancipators. They're rocks. You can get those, right? So choosing Analysts to limit to 2 doesn't really hurt the deck, because they'll just play one card, something different. They'll just play something else. They'll play an additional Black Dragon, because I see a lot of lists they only play 2. They can play an extra Black Dragon. They can play an extra rock monster that actually does something. The rock monster that says if you mill this card, you can summon the card. Or if this card's sent to the grave, you can pop a card. Or pop a spell and trap card. Or add a rock monster from your deck to your hand. Or from the graveyard to your hand. There's a lot of rocks that they can add. A lot of rocks monster can add in replace of this one card. Right? Next is Fractal. Fractal to 2 is a big mistake if they also want to take down the deck. Like, this is not the cause. Fractal is the combo start. It can be the combo starter, and it can be the pinnacle, right? It can be Fractal, I'm going in, right? But instead for taking it down to 2, just take it down to 1. Knock it down to 1. It's a strong card. This is nothing for the archetype. They'll just play something else. They'll just drop one card and play something else. This does not stop the deck from being good. This doesn't hinder the deck. They'll just play something else completely. Next is Roshi. I don't know Virtual Worlds to speak on Roshi and how this will affect it, but they chose this card, and I'm sure that there's a lot of lists, hundreds of deck profiles showing Virtual Worlds, thousands of them even, right? I'll say hundreds because I don't want to over exaggerate, but there's like hundreds of deck profiles with Virtual Worlds, and they chose to do Roshi, which in retrospect, right? Retrospect can't replace Fractal. Yeah, they can. They'll just play one other card. They'll drop Fractal to 2, and they'll play something else. Exactly. They'll play an additional hand trap. So good job, Konami. We're about to have another Droll Lockbird. Yep, we're gonna have Droll Lockbird. They can play. What else they can play? Droll Lockbird's good in any cases. They can play an additional Maxi if they haven't playing 3, or additional Ash Blossom not playing 3. Bell. Oh, Ghost Ogre. Like, there's a lot of other stuff. Or Nibiru. Or a Nibiru. Or they can just play Nibiru. If they're not already playing it. They're not already playing it, dude. So, out of every deck list and every type of like deck that they have to look at for information on what cards to ban and what cards to target, they chose Roshi and not VFD. If you guys don't know what VFD is, it's True King of Calamity. It's True King of Calamity. Except for banning this card, getting this card off the ladder completely, really stopping them from playing. Like, banning this card will not kill Virtual Worlds at all. It won't kill the deck. They still have other outs, other things to play. But this is the crux card, the boss card they aim to go into every single time. And if they ban this card, that's it, right? They can't go into this card. They can't go into this amazing card. So except for banning this, they chose Roshi. You don't understand. The player base is upset about this, because I'm pretty sure that they're constantly looking at all the cards. I'm sure there's a team dedicated looking at every deck profile and looking at every card that is good in a deck. And he just says, well, I'm just going to gloss over VFD like it's nothing. Like, this card is not a problem. So, how do I figure out if a card's a problem? I'll tell you when I find out that's a card's a problem. We're going to go and look at another card to find out why this card's a problem. It's just a problem. We'll go into that later. Next is they're going to take Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon off the ban list. They're gonna lift it up. They're gonna take them off. You know, I think we're at this stage, at this time, in the meta overall. I think that's a good choice, right? I think that's one good choice that they decided to do is take him off the ban list. There's no need, right? He's a level 10. You have to tribute a dragon just to get this guy on the field, and you can only use this effect. And he just special summons out a dragon from your hand or graveyard, right? Hand or graveyard. Only a handful of decks play this card. Dragon Maids in particular plays this card. Heretics play this card in plenty. So just having, like, it's fine. Like, I think he shouldn't be banned in the first place. Dragon Links might make a resurgence, but Dragon Links fall flat to Virtual Worlds with VFD. Or Tri Brigades with Revolt, and then they just make Omen, and they can just banish any combo piece that they have. Hope they have a backup plan. Or Animancipators that can build walls, or even Drytrons, which we'll go into now. Drytron changes. And why I think Drytrons someone needs to hit them in the, like, someone needs to talk to the team and tell them this doesn't matter, right? This doesn't matter. So Red MD's going off the ban list. That's fine. Ship sail, light your lighters. He's setting sail off. He's a real boy now. He's going off to the world. Hats off to you, Red MD. You've been on the ban list for years. So now we can finally play 3 in this game. So next is Ben 10. Oh boy. I'm about to rip into this one hard. I'm about to rip into this card hard. Okay, hard. 1.1. Limiting this card to 1 does absolutely nothing. A lot of people might say it does. A lot of people says a lot of people in my not in my Discord, but in an associated Discord that I'm in, there's talks about this. That limiting this card to 1 doesn't really hinder the deck. All you gotta do is Ash Blossom this, and then that's it. Me, I think this does nothing against Drytrons. Nothing. They can cycle 1 Ben 10 all day. They don't need to have 3. 3 is just in case something happens to the first one. But if you're smart and you know how to play the deck around any other type of disruptions, any type of way of banishment, it doesn't matter. Because you'll still pop off with a 5+ negate board even with one Ben 10. You know why? Because Meteonis exists. Right? Drytron Meteonis, a ritual spell that brings this card back, and then you just sack it off again. Or bring it back and go to Beatrice to drop another card in the graveyard. Doesn't even have to be this. The point of the matter is, limiting this card to 1 does hardly anything to Drytrons. They're still functional, they're still powerful, and they'll still make a 10+ negate board, and you can't stop it. Instead, we're focusing on the side like Ben 10, because Ben 10 is not the issue. The issue is the materials that it can get. Eve is a problem in a deck. Eve is completely the reload button for Drytrons, right? It's literally Eve, reload, let's go. What's another problematic card for Drytrons? The engine itself in the deck, the alphas, the gammas, the freaking zetas, Meteonis himself, the spell card, Drytron and Meteonis. Limit that to 1, right? Don't limit this. Like, there's other options to choose besides Ben 10, right? Ben 10 to 1 does nothing. What this does, this gives me 2 free spots. I can play any other card that's probably, if not worse than, a Ben 10, right? Any cards that stop graveyard effects. Let's add Dark Rule No More. Let's add a Forbidden Droplet even. Let's add another engine. Hey, let's take Drytrons with the Fairy Engine of Herald and then slap ourselves in another archetype to make the deck even work even faster. Banning this card to 1 does nothing to Drytrons at all. They'll still play. They'll still make an unreachable board. It slows them down from 1 additional play. But there's times where I'm playing the deck and I'm like, I have 1 Ben 10. I might get a second one, but I can just get something different now. Like, it doesn't really affect me in a way, because I can still use Ben 10 to get, Diviner, and if it gets, Ash Blossom, it's fine. I'm still going to get Diviner in the end of the day, because I'll just bring it back. Lightstorm's best deck of all times. It's a rogue deck. I believe it. I believe that. I believe it. I believe that Light once has its place, but it's just hard to build. I tried. Maybe zombies with zombie swords, maybe, but it's a bit difficult, man. You hit me hard. My heart. Seiko's Light is getting limited to 2. I don't know any other decks that play this card at all. You just, like, if you have no spell trap cards in your graveyard, draw 2 cards. For the rest of the duel, after you activate this card, you can activate spell trap cards or effects except Seiko's Light. Oh god. I don't see any decks with this in it. I hardly do. Triple Tactics probably. Like, I think that Triple Tactics, this is probably a card you'll use instead of Triple Tactics, but I don't see any plausible means to even limit this card or even it's on the radar. Destined Fusion, I don't know heroes enough to talk about it. Possibly it's a good choice of why they banned limited to 2. Doesn't do much anything. Dynamite is limited to 1 copy now. Again, I don't know, man. Like, you still have Eater of Millions. You still have cards like, Pot of Extravagance. That's an easy, what? That's an easy 3K right there. If they activate Pot of Depression, or one of the pots. So many pots, I can't even think of the names of them. But I don't think DD Dynamite is actually a problem card. And then last but not least is probably the biggest thing I ever want to talk about in this ban list is El Conquistador of the Golden Lands is going to 1 copy. So sink that in for a minute, right? Take that in for one moment and think to yourself, right? Think hard, right? We've all been playing this game for almost 5 months. Think hard. Eldritch, which you'll play this in Eldritch, right? You'll play this card in Eldritch. Think hard of any other card that you could totally put on the ban list and limit to 1 besides this. If you need clarifications and you don't know what this card does, let me tell you what it does. Easy. And I'll read it verbatim. Special summon this card as a normal monster. It is a zombie light, level 5. 500 attack, 1800 defense. This card is still a trap, so it can still die to trap removal. Cool. Right? Cool. Then, if you control Eldritch the Golden Lord, you can destroy 1 face-up card on the field. Alright. During the end phase, you can banish the card. It doesn't matter. You can search another one besides self, set it. Doesn't matter there. So, Golden Lands, El Conquistador is being checked, right? That card's a problem in Eldritch. They decided they want to ban that card because that's a problem in Eldritch, right? That's a problem in Eldritch decks. Let's go and let's take a field trip. Let's take a field trip to let's see, Duel Meta. Is Duel Meta, right? Duel Meet, wow. Meta. Duel Meta, right? And we're going to look at, is this the right one? I think this is the right one here. Alright, we're going to look at top decks, right? Because Eldritch is a top, is a top contender for a deck. So we're going to take a look here. And no, I don't want that. And we're going to scroll down. And we're going to take a look at something here. Because they find it very appeased to take down Conquistador, but no other cards. As you see, there's a lot of shit going on here. It's a lot of shit. A lot of stuff is going on here. So we're going to take a look at this one. This one was sent out on the 24th. I don't think the ban list was even relevant in the 24th. Yeah, because he's still playing 3. Now it's limited to 1. So, this has what? 40 card deck. This is a typical list. A typical list of Eldritch. Matter of fact, if they had a guide, a breakdown guide to Eldritch, that would even be better. Because we can check out the percentages of people playing certain cards in the deck. And I think this is it here. It is. So, 99% of people play 3 copies. You know what else people play? 96% Imperial Order. That card is fine, the Roman Free. 95% of people play 3 Skill Drains. Another problematic card for Eldritch that they could totally snipe down. And they choose this one, the card that pops a face-up card on the board. Not only that, it just doesn't. The only reason why I see probably is that it doesn't target. It just destroys a card. It doesn't target. But even if that is the case, you still have Solemn Judgment people still playing. You still have someone plays Torrential Tribute. Oof, oof. You still have Goza Match, right? You still have a Rivalry of the Warlords. You still have Summon Limit, right? You still have so many Floodgate cards. And they thought, you know what? We don't want to touch Floodgates at all. Floodgates are good, right? But we're going to keep this card, Golden Lands, Kisador, to 1. I think this here is probably where a lot of players might quit the game because of this ban list. I have a feeling a lot of people are just going to drop the game, wait 2 months, because if you go back over here, you'll notice that, save it, if you go back, you'll notice that I gotta do a lot of cuts, man. I gotta do a lot of cuts. If you go back to the ban list here, it's lasting from May to June. So that's May, January, February, April, May, June. Wait, what? That's only a month. So they'll probably stop playing the game for a whole month, right? They'll stop probably playing the game for 1 whole month. People might just quit. Just put the game down. So there will be, I will predict 100%. I will keep playing the game, right? I'll keep playing the game because I enjoy it. But I'm willing to predict that there will be, I would like to predict that the player base number will go down. It'll last for 1 month. People will put the game down and come back next month, right? It's also May. It's also will be in May, which will be, going into the springtime. A lot of people be outside doing shit, right? Enjoying the weather, right? There's a lot of other shit going on in May as well. There's probably some AAA title coming out in May, another game. There's other games to play, right? So May is probably they're going to hit the decline of players, and I think they need this because with this they will learn and look at what went wrong, and then what went wrong is because they chose the wrong cards to ban and limit. They'll learn from this. That's why I'm keep playing, because I know they'll take this in and they'll learn, right? Look at the events. Look at the XYZ events. They changed those numbers in less than a day, right? I have a feeling that they will fix this in June. Probably they'll make an emergency ban list in halfway through the month. Maybe to get some cards to ban, maybe check some stuff out. But I honestly think that the month of May will be a decline for players for this coming month. I think it's just going to be a decline of players. But they'll learn from it. They'll make a better ban list. They'll address some issues. They'll probably make another post tabs apologizing for something. And then they'll make a new ban list. And then that'll be it. So overall, this ban list is bad. Right? This ban list is bad. But we live in a state now where there's a lot of other games to play. So I'm not upset about it because, just play something different. Right? Just play another game. Right? I don't want to say like play another game is the answer. But I want to say, like, if the player base will go to a decline because of the ban list, and because of that, they will. I already said they'll lose players, but there's other things they can do, right? I don't want to say that because I don't want to be like, oh, they just play another game, right? Like, because honestly, if you're just upset with the game, just play another game. Just drop it, put it down, play something different, then come back to it later on. Maybe, you just need a reset, because you deal with a lot of bullshit in the game that you're playing. You deal a lot of bullshit. I've done this before. I played WoW for a long time, And then I played League of Legends for a long time, and I stopped League. I put it down. I decompressed. I got back into League and recently, and I started playing more and more. I get frustrated, play something else. We live in a day and age where there's a lot of other games. There's Elden Rings. There's Tina Wonderland came out with their new DLC. There's what's other games? You have Final Fantasy 14. It has Endwalker, not Endwalker, but they have I think it's Endwalker. It has Endwalker, right? There's other things to do. So, and it's only for a month, so you can drop this game for a month and come back to it. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think in that aspect, it's pretty alright. They will fix this. They will fix this. I have a feeling they will take some changes. Trial ban list, yes. I honestly think this is probably them testing the waters, right? I believe it. This is probably them testing the waters. They also have, for example, they have like if you want to break down cards during this time. So, say for example, you have a Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. You can break the card down for the full value of the card. Before the ban list, I think, or it was like during the ban list. I gotta read this. Yes. For because like there's a thing where you can dust the card and get the full value of the card. So if there's like a UR card that they add to the ban list, and I believe during the ban list or when the ban list comes public or outside the application period, you can get the full value of the card. But that's all. That's all it is. They also put a PSA here, which is something that I don't think a lot of people read. I think a lot of people jumped to conclusions that this ban list is, it is ruined. But there's a clause at the bottom, right? Limit registrations in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duels are subject to change in order to improve the game's balance and increase player enjoyment, right? Limit regulations are also subject to change, review, and may be changed or removed as the environmental changes. In this case, card effects may change. In other words, if this ban list is not good or efficient, or even now that they released this ban list so early, why do you think they released it so early for people to look at? They want player perspective. They want player perception on how this ban list goes. So like you said, it's a trial ban list, yes. But they also released this PSA at the bottom saying that we will change this if it gets any worse. So there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's not all bad, right? There's a light at the end of the tunnel. They can change it at any point now, right? They just said, hey, we can change it. People don't like it, And I have a feeling they have a lot of criticism about this ban list. A lot of criticism about this ban list, right? A lot. So, honestly, they sent this... When did they release this out? They released this ban list on the 25th, right? That was a Saturday. The 25th was it was a Monday. 25th was a Monday, right? It's now Tuesday. Probably they have until the end of the week to make changes. They can make changes in between now and the end of the week, right? And if nothing of those go on and they just ship it, I'll still play it. I'll still try to make some content for it. But it'll be in a pretty rough state. Because it's now 5 months in and we're just now getting a ban list. But that's my take. We're now getting a ban list. That's my